Now the question number 31. A current I is a flows in a circular arc of radius r subtending an angle theta as shown in the figure. Find the magnetic field at the center O of the circle. So first of all, we will take this is the radius r and this is the radius r. So current I which must be flows through the circular arc of radius r subtending an angle theta here. So first of all, which one we want to calculate here? Magnetic field at the center O of the circle. So then what happens here? First of all, magnetic field at the center, number 1, due to current carrying conductor. So what is the conductor there? Circular loop. So due to that, what happens here? BC center is equal to mu naught I divided by 2 into R. Then afterwards, second, what is that here? Due to current carrying wire, magnetic field, that one, but which makes certain angle, no? So that's why second one, due to current carrying circular arc making an angle theta at center. What happens in this case? B is equal to theta divided by 2 pi into magnetic field at center. So here actually due to current carrying conductor, that is circular loop. First we calculated circular loop. Then afterwards this is the arc. So we want to calculate the arc, means what is that here? Theta by 2 pi into B at the center. So that means what happens in this case? Theta by 2 pi into B at C. What is that here? Mu naught I divided by 2R. So here mu naught I into theta divided by 4 pi R. So which option is correct here? Option A is correct. Now the question number 32. The current in a coil changes from 3 amperes to 1 amperes in 0.1 seconds. In a coil of self-inductance 8 millihenry, the EMF induced in the coil is how much? So first of all, here given there is a change in current. So that means change in current DI is equal to 3 amperes minus 1 ampere is equal to 2 amperes. In how many seconds here? T is equal to 0.1 seconds and self-inductance L is equal to 8 millihenry. So 8 millihenry is nothing but 8 into 10 to the power of minus 3 Henry. So which one we want to calculate? EMF induced in the coil. So that means EMF induced in the coil. So E is equal to minus L into di divided by dt. So here minus, negative sign that indicates the direction. So we will take this one. L is nothing but how much here? 8 into 10 to the power of 9. We are taking magnitude. So that's why into di. That means 3 amperes minus 1 ampere divided by time 0.1 seconds. So is equal to 8 into 10 to the power of minus 3 into 2 divided by 0.1. So then what happens here? 8 2s are 16 into 10 to the power of minus 3 divided by 0.1. On calculation of that, 16 into 10 to the power of minus 2 volts. So which option is correct here? 16 into 10 to the power of minus 2 volts is correct. Option C is correct. Now the question number 33. Acceleration due to gravity, A increases with attitude, B decreases with attitude, C independent of attitude, and D first decreases and then increases with attitude. So which option is correct? So first of all, we know that acceleration due to gravity above the surface of earth can be calculated by using one formula, that is G dash is equal to G times 1 minus 2h by r. So r is nothing but radius of earth. So when we are taking this formula, g dash is nothing but acceleration due to gravity at some particular height. So due to this formula, we know that as the altitude increases, g value decreases. So that means altitude increases, g value decreases. So that means acceleration due to gravity decreases with attitude. So that means attitude is nothing but height from the surface. Height from the surface. As the height from the surface of the earth increases, then gravity decreases. Similarly, as the body which is moving into the earth's surface also, g value decreases. Here also g value decreases. Here also g value decreases. At some particular height, that is h is equal to r, what happens to the acceleration due to gravity? Becomes 0. At one particular point, that is h is equal to, when this is moving into the earth, then mean what happens here? Diameter of the earth is equal to radius. Then acceleration due to gravity 0. That means it is at center of the earth, acceleration due to gravity 0. At some particular height, that is h is equal to radius of the earth, there also a g value 0. So that means from the surface of the earth, altitude increases, g value decreases. As the body which is moving into the earth's surface also, g value decreases. So which option is correct here? Option B is correct. Acceleration due to gravity decreases with attitude. Now the question number 34. If mass, speed, radius of circular path of particle are increased by 100%, then necessary force required to maintain the circular path will have to be increased by. So that means what is that here? Mass, speed and radius increased by 100%. So that means m1 is equal to m, m2 is equal to 2m, v1 is equal to v, v2 is equal to 2v. So r1 is equal to r and r2 is equal to 2r. So that means 100% increase is nothing but double. So you can remember. But here centripetal force formula, F is equal to mv square by r. So why centripetal force? Because it should maintain the circular path. So that's why centripetal force is necessary. So that means according to this, F directly proportional to m v square and divided by r. So that means what happens here? F2 divided by F1 is equal to m2 divided by m1, v2 divided by v1 whole square and r1 divided by r2. So now substitute the values here. 2m by m, 2v by v whole square into r divided by 2r. M cancel, VV cancel, RR cancel. So the remaining is 2 into 4 into 1 by 2. Both are cancelled. Here 4 we are getting. So that means F2 is equal to 4F1. This is the relation we got. So here which one calculated here? Percentage. Necessary force required to maintain the circular path will have to increase by percentage. So that means percentage increase in centripetal force. So that means what happens here? F2 minus F1 divided by F1 into 100. So F2 means what is that here? 4F1 minus F1 divided by F1 into 100. F1 cancel. 4 minus 1 is 3 into 100. So that means what happens here? 300%. So which option is correct here? Option C is correct. Now the question number 35. Three identical uniform solid spheres of each mass m and radius r are joined as shown in the figure with centers lying in the same plane. The moment of inertia of the system about the axis lying in that plane and plane passing through the center of the sphere C is how much? So first of all, here the moment of inertia. So we will write like this: moment of inertia of sphere. That means I is equal to 2 by 5 mr square. So three identical uniform solid spheres, each of mass and radius are joined as shown in the figure. So as shown in the figure means and this is one sphere, and this is another sphere, and this is another sphere. That means each sphere touches the other. So that means A and B and C. Here we want to calculate the moment of inertia of system about the axis lying in that plane and passing through the center of sphere C. Center of sphere C means this is the center of C, this is the center of, this is center of B, A. So that means moment of inertia of this system that is passing through the center of C. Center of C we want to calculate. So that means what happens here? From here to here, from here to here, and from here to here. So that means if we want to calculate like this means moment of inertia of the system about the axis passing through, this is X and this is Y. So that means Ixy is equal to IA, moment of inertia of A, plus moment of inertia of B, plus moment of inertia of C. So first of all, for A, so what is the sphere initially? 2 by 5 mr square plus mr square. That means 2 by 5 mr square to the center, and the distance is r square. Then for B, 2 by 5 mr square plus mr square for B also. For C, that is only 2 by 5 mr square. Why? Because passing through center. So that's mean there is no perpendicular distance from this. So only we will take from the through the C only. So that means this is the axis. So for this one, what happens here? On addition of these two, 7 by 5 mr square, here 7 by 5 mr square plus mr square. So LCM 5, 7 mr square plus 7 mr square plus 5 mr square. 14 plus here 7 plus 7 14, and here this is 2 by 5 mr square. So that means here 2 mr square. So that means 14 plus 2 16 mr square divided by 5. So which option is correct here? Option A is correct. Number 36. Unit of pole strength of magnet is how much? So here first of all, magnetic moment capital M is equal to pole strength into magnetic length. That is 2L is the magnetic length, M is the pole strength. So that means what happens here? Small m, pole strength is equal to capital M by 2L. So capital M is nothing but ampere meter square divided by meters. So 1 meter cancel. So ampere meter. So which option is correct here? Option D is correct. Number 37. The ratio of the slopes of isothermal and adiabatic curves is how much? So first of all, so ratio of isothermal and adiabatic. So first of all, I am taking here dP by dV, that is isothermal. Isothermal is nothing but what is the temperature remains constant, that is minus P by V, and ratio of adiabatic, that means dP by dV, that is adiabatic, is equal to minus gamma P by V. That is, they asked to find the ratio. So that means what is that here? dP by dV, that is isothermal, divided by dP by dV, that is adiabatic, is equal to minus P by V and minus gamma P by V. So P cancel, V cancel, minus becomes plus. So 1 by gamma is the answer. So which option is correct here? Option C is correct. 38. Kepler's second law of areas is nothing but a statement of work energy theorem, or conservation of linear momentum, or conservation of angular momentum, or conservation of energy. So according to Kepler's second law of motion, that is law of areas, according to law of areas, there we will get that dl by dt is equal to constant. That is nothing but angular momentum is constant. So that means conservation of angular momentum is possible by means of Kepler's second law. So which option is correct here? Option C is correct. Now the question number 39. In a potentiometer experiment, the balancing length with a cell is 560 centimeters. When an external resistance is 10 ohms is connected in parallel to the cell, the balancing length changes by 60 centimeters. Find the internal resistance of the cell. So in potentiometer, that is L1 is equal to 560 centimeters and external resistance, that is capital R, is equal to 10 ohms. Then the balancing length changes by, so that means L2 is equal to 560 minus here changes to 60. So that means what happens here, 560 minus 60 is equal to 500 centimeters. Then which one we want to calculate here? Internal resistance. So that means internal resistance small r is equal to L1 minus L2 divided by L2 into R. So 560 minus 500 divided by 500 into R is nothing but 10. So what happens in this case here? 60 divided by 500 into 10. So on simplification of that, we are getting 1.2 ohms. So which option is correct here? Option C is correct. Now the question number 40. A particle is projected with a velocity v such that its range on the horizontal plane is twice the greatest height attained by it. The range of projectile is how much? So g is the acceleration due to gravity. So given r is equal to 2h and here initial velocity, that is given u is equal to v. But here range formula, what is that? U square sine 2 theta divided by g is equal to 2 times maximum height u square sine theta divided by 2g, that is sine square theta divided by 2g. So then what happens in this case here? U means v square sine 2 theta can be written as 2 sine theta cos theta divided by g is equal to 2 gets cancelled, v square sine theta into sine theta divided by g. So g cancel, sine theta gets cancelled. So the remaining what happens here? V square also cancel. So here 2 cos theta is equal to sine theta and sine theta divided by cos theta is equal to 2 and here tan theta is equal to 2. If you are drawing one right angle triangle like this, here theta 2 divided by 1. So what happens in this case? That is root 5. So that means what about sine theta is equal to 2 by root 5 and what about cos theta is equal to 1 by root 5. So which one we want to calculate here? Range of the projectile. So that means here range r is equal to u square sine 2 theta divided by g. So that means u square sine 2 theta, that means 2 sine theta cos theta divided by g. So here u square, that is u square is nothing but what is that? V square. 2 into sine theta, that is 2 by root 5 cos theta, that is 1 by root 5 divided by g. So here v square 2 into 1 divide root 5 into root 5 into g. So here 4 v square divided by 5g. So which option is correct here? 4v square by 5g. That is, which option is correct here? 4v square divided by 5g is answer. So here this is the solution for this. Now the option is A.